We'll turn our focus onto boxing once again. The fight announced for the 8th of April 2017, Oleksandr Usyk versus Michael Hunter Jr. Usyk 11-0-0, Hunter 12-0-0, both undefeated. Usyk 10 KOs in those 11 victories. Michael Hunter Jr. 8 KOs in his 12 victories. It's a good fight. They're both undefeated. So there'll be a contest between them to see whose O will go, so to speak. Hunter Jr. comes from good stock. His father was a fighter. His father had a tremendous chin, was very resilient. Had victories over Oliver McCall and Francois Botha. So you don't have victories over people like that if you're not a serious fighter. If Hunter has inherited any of the durability and fighting skills of his father, then Usyk may be in for a more difficult night than you would have thought. Usyk, a gold medalist in 2012 as an amateur pedigree. Hunter, also an Olympian in the same year, 2012. It's a good little fight, this. Hunter, what I've seen from him, very tall, powerful, composed in his work. I like the way he comes forward. He tries to make the fight, tries to. He's not scared of trading. It's gonna give Usyk, a few things to think about. Usyk, obviously, very traditionally solid, very traditionally schooled, very good amateur background, extreme power, throwing shots from all angles, uppercuts, hooks, every type of angle of shot you can imagine. Usyk throws, does it with composure, does it with great intensity. The thing I like about Usyk is his temperament. If you look at just the gaze of his eyes, he's so focused, he's so driven. When he gets into the ring, he gets in the ring to do a job. He's not going in there to risk getting beaten up. He's going in there to inflict damage on his opponent and get it done clinically. So from a betting point of view, it's always good to side with Usyk. And the bookies know this. If you look at the odds, you see Oleksandr Usyk 1-12, the draw 35-1, Michael Hunter Jr. 19-2. So obviously Usyk a big favourite, and I won't be doing you any big favours by telling you that Usyk is probably the way to go at 1-12. I actually think it's a little bit closer than that because Hunter's unbeaten. He's got that confidence. Um, he's got that. His whole life must have been influenced by boxing, with his father having that career, beating people like Botha, beating people like Oliver McCall. He's an Olympian. So there's a lot of things that add up here. I did see him in a fight against someone called Jason Douglas. He looked quick-handed, he looked powerful. Obviously, Douglas isn't a high-level contender, but he did look impressive. He got it done. It was shown on. He was a good little fight. I did notice Douglas got the odd shot in on him, which I didn't like because if you leave yourself exposed to someone like Usyk, it could be a very short night. But no, I think this is a decent fight. I think it's a good test for Usyk. Usyk, who has those victories over Theobasu Machuno. He got that KO. Also, Glowacki defeated him on points. So he knows his way about a ring. We're just going to go with Usyk here. Method of victory. I think there could be a late TKO here. Usyk is just too skillful. He's another one of these fighters where we can, even though he's at a heavier weight, we can talk about him in the same breath as a Terence Crawford. Even a Mayweather, which may seem strange at this weight, but it's. I mean, in terms of his skill, in terms of his ability to change things up, to beat his opponent with different tempos, different speeds, punches from different angles, changing levels. He's got everything. He's got the footwork. He's just he's one of these people where there's hype there, but the hype is fully justified, and people are talking about him going up to heavyweight. Um, a friend of mine made an inquiry recently with a famous bookmaker saying, what sort of odds can I get on Usyk being a heavyweight champion by the end of next year? And the odds they gave, I think it was either evens or below evens. I mean, that gives you an idea of what the experts think about Usyk. I mean, they're thinking he's going to go to heavyweight and win the title. They weren't going to go above evens because they think it's going to happen. He's got the skills. He can. I would nearly said easily. He can unify all the titles in the cruiserweight division and then go on to heavyweight, and then take things further in the heavyweight division and mix it up with the Wilders, mix it up with the Anthony Joshuas, mix it up with the Tyson Furies. He can do that. He's that skilled. So as far as this fight goes, having said all that, even though I like Hunter, I like the way he's been brought up. I like the fact that his father's involved in terms of his genes and in terms of his upbringing. I like the fact he's an Olympian. But despite all these attributes, I don't think he's going to have enough to beat Oleksandr Usyk. So we're going to take Usyk at 1 to 12.